This is my chipper shredder. I got this a couple years ago. It's been working pretty well so far. It can safely chip a 3-inch, maybe a 4-inch log. At that point, that's bordering on firewood anyways, so it kind of doesn't really matter if you can do much larger than that, unless you're specifically just trying to make mulch. What I usually do is stack up large piles of brush, then bring this over and make mulch. One of the reasons I got this was that there's a lot of dead trees on the property, and I'm hoping to be able to use all parts of the tree. Top part, mulch, middle, firewood, bottom, mill log. So that's the goal. This thing's got a 14 horsepower Kohler Command Pro engine. This one's pretty powerful. It is pretty loud. It's more or less an engine that's spinning a drum inside there. I think there's maybe somewhere between 3 and 6 blades on the drum. It's pretty nice because you can open up the chute with just these right here, these latches. You can just move those two and swing it over. And this is pretty heavy. It's solid construction. And then inside you can see the drum here. So this thing right here basically just rotates, and it's got blades right down there. The blade I can feel it's like a little sharp still, so it should still be fine. They do ship extra blades when you buy this, and you can switch them, I want to say, just by removing those bolts there. I haven't done it yet, but they give you a tool to rotate and change the blades. Sometimes some weirdly shaped pieces of wood will get that jammed up, and you do have to open this. If you have to open that, they recommend that you power this thing down, you remove the spark plug, and then you wait 5 minutes. Usually when I do, I bring a big stick and kind of jam it out from a safe distance. Yeah, this thing's pretty heavy, pretty solid. So, you know, nothing's gonna break through it when you're chipping, which is nice. It's also a emergency off button right here, which connects, so we'll switch that connects down here and then up to the engine. You more or less just tap on this if there's an issue. Although I will say it's kind of a tough spot to get necessarily. This side is kind of the same. There's another latch. You can open that up, slide her over. More gracefully than that, ideally. But you can see the other end of the drum there. This is the output. On this side of the latch, as you can see, there's just these kind of metal fittings that can slide in. So this side isn't like permanently attached. You could kind of move it up and remove these. So when they ship it to you, this piece here, and a couple of the pieces down there are not attached, but it's pretty easy to set up. It is heavy though, so this piece right here, shipped on a pallet, that piece right there is probably like 200-300 pounds. That's the hardest thing to move, so you ideally should have like a forklift or somebody to help you. I mean, you can definitely do it without a forklift if you just get creative in terms of how you, you know, disassemble and set things up, but it makes it easier to have some kind of mechanical help. On the back here, this stand folds up, so if I lift this up, I could fold this up and in, but you can slide a pin through this and then lock it into place. It's pretty heavy. Ends up putting a bit of strain on your back when you have to lift this thing and then move this. So it's definitely easier with two people. So I figured I'd give this thing a test run before I bring it to the backfield and do some mulching. So let's just make sure it starts right up. Nothing worse than getting a bunch of stuff set up somewhere and then finding that a piece of the equipment doesn't work. gas looks actually pretty good. Don't have to add any. So that'd be step 1. Step 2, put the fuel, well, it's already in the on position, but ideally it would have been in the off. So let's put the fuel in the on position, and then let's put the choke on. Let's make sure that this isn't like facing you. You can adjust this part up and down. This piece can be adjusted, so you could also like rotate this. Right now this is fine. And if this ends up getting too difficult to pull, I may have to open up the chamber again, clear out any pieces that could be stopping the drum from rotating, because all this is doing is rotating the drum. Definitely feels a bit. It's a bit tough, but sometimes you just gotta loosen it a little bit like this. Well, maybe I eased off the choke a little too uneasy. Well, she started right up, which is nice because I ran this maybe 2 weeks ago, so I'm glad that there weren't any issues there. I'm gonna bring this out back, and then I'm gonna get my trailer set up with my mulching bag and get ready to do some mulching. So this is just one of those waste management bags that they sell for $30 to $40 for moving. And they say you can move up to 1,000 pounds, which probably means they're rated for, we'll say 1,200, 1,500, something higher. I think it's called dumpster in a bag. But I find that it works really well because these straps here, they would probably use a machine to pick this up with if they came to get it from your house. So it should be able to lift a bag full of mulch. So I haven't tried it yet, but I can probably use the tractor forklifts to pick that thing out in case I wanted to, say, get 2 of these bags and just swap them in the trailer. Pretty cool, huh? Pretty bad. You can see behind me tracks I made with the tractor a couple days ago. I'm not super happy about that, but come out here with some kind of rake tool and just rake the mud down into it before it freezes, then it'll be fine. Right here we got the finished product from yesterday. Pretty much filled out the whole bed here. I did miss a whole bunch. After maybe 15 minutes I realized that I was not collecting the mulch because the chipper opened up at the top and a lot was shooting out in different directions. So lost a little bit to the forest floor, but that's all right. Typically, as I'm filling this up, I'll just take this rake here. It tends to, form a pile. And I'll just take a second to rake it out because it's not super heavy. You can see this is pretty nice overall. Some of it is super fine, some of it's a little bit bigger. Kind of depends a little bit on how the log was or how the sticks were going in. Overall, it came out pretty good. So after I finished mulching yesterday, I had to both move this trailer and I had to move the wood chipper. And the trailer is a lot heavier once you fill it with mulch. So lifting and moving this thing is becomes more of a task. However, I was able to get this off of the Ranger just kind of by picking it up here and then dropping it on a log like that. And then I was able to take the Ranger back to the wood chipper and bring it back. The main thing right now is that if it's going to freeze in the next couple of days, I don't want this all to kind of freeze in place because there's still some water within the wood here. So that'll end up freezing and forming one really large chunk of mulch that I may or may not be able to move. Now I'm tempted to put the forks on the tractor and give a shot lifting this with the straps here, but I think I'll probably hold off on that for a little bit. I just need to find a good spot to put this mulch down. I've been mulching along all the paths that I have here, and I might just add a little bit more to the area that I'm currently in because I think it'll look a little bit nicer. So I'm going to take a look for a couple other spots up that way, see if there's a better spot, maybe something that needs it more. And if not, I might just toss it down here. So I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's some ridges that have formed here from the tractor tires. Basically, the tractor weighs something like 4,000 pounds. When I drive back and forth on this route, which I do a bunch, it tends to just sink down and in. So by having the mulch on top, it's able to get a little bit more traction. So this spot up here, I've been thinking is maybe a good spot for some mulch. Could probably use half the trailer to just dump it in here. Every time I try to bring a heavy log up here with the tractor, if the ground is the least amount of wet, the tires sink in and I can almost never get up here. It's not even that big of a hill. It's just the amount of weight that the tractor has coming in here, it just sinks. Thankfully, last night it was below freezing, so I can feel things are firming up, but I know that this weekend they're just gonna loosen up again. this thing's been awesome. It's lightweight, it's super strong. It says it's the aluminum scoop number 12. I think it was around $25, $30, and it's lasted over 4 years. I shoveled a full 5 yards of wet compost with this, a soil compost mix, and I calculated that to be something like 7 tons. Did that all in one day, and I don't ever want to have to do that again. This also is really good for shoveling mulch here because it's got a pretty wide scoop and it's lightweight. So it makes a really good shovel. So one thing about mulching is that you end up with this problem pretty often. Easy fix, but you get the point. It's everywhere. I'm gonna wrap up the video here. If you enjoyed watching the video, please like it. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. If there's something you wanna see, tell me in the comments. Thanks for watching and have a good one.